What's going on, guys? And I think it's time we talk about some Tigers baseball here. I haven't made a video since the All-Star break, and a lot of stuff has happened with the Tigers since then. Not all the trades that I thought that was going to happen. You know, Mike Fiers has been with Oakland for a little while now. Even though he was traded after the deadline, he was the non-waiver deadline. Jose Iglesias is still on the team. Frankie Liriano kind of shit the bed this season after his decent start to the season. But now the guy can't throw fucking strikes to save his life. But besides that, let's get into this team right now. They're playing some really fucking good baseball. It's a blessing and it's a curse at the same time, because here's why. So the Tigers right now, every win they get, it's absolutely stupid because all they're doing is affecting their draft stock position. Obviously, they're not going to lose more games than someone like San Diego, who is really bad, and they're not going to lose more games than someone like Kansas City or Chicago. There are better teams than them, surprisingly. It's kind of crazy to think about. The Tigers have more losses than the Marlins, and the Marlins were supposed to be like the worst team in baseball this season. And they actually, they're eliminated. They're not good whatsoever, but the Tigers actually underperformed them. Even though the Tigers got out to that weird start this year where they were almost near 500. I think they got to 500 once, and they were chasing Cleveland, and they were playing Cleveland in that set, and they got their asses kicked, and then they lost 11 straight games, and then their season, they ended up blowing up, and then that was that. So, but no, it's like I like this team. They haven't been good. They're not even close to a playoff contending team. And all their guys that, they hope that are going to be there for the future that they can build around, your Jake Rogers, Matt Manning, Casey Mize, Babe Burrows, Daz Cameron, and he's been good this year. All these guys that aren't even here yet are still down in the minors, yet this team I gotta give Ron Gardenhire praise. Guys, I was dead wrong. Flat out dead wrong about Ron Gardenhire. He has come in, and I can see why they hired him for such a team. And I did say this. I said I didn't like the sign because I thought in the future he is going to retire, and by the time all these kids are ready to play, he was going to be gone and there'd be a new voice, because I don't want to see like that Washington National shit where they go through a manager every 2 years. One thing that the Tigers have had a good thing for of the last 15 years is they've had consistency at the managerial position. Jim Leyland was here as long as he wanted. He had like a Mike Scioscia deal until he wanted to just finally quit. And then Brad Ausmus, as terrible as he was, he was still here for, 4 years, 5 years. Let's see, Leyland was done in 14, 15, 16, 17. So he was here 4 years. So they've held guys at the helm for a while. It hasn't been a manager every couple of years, and I like that, even though Brad Ausmus was here way too long. But neither here nor there. With this Ron Gardenhire's style of team and these young kids and this scrappy style of play, yes, they've been losing games. Yes, some of these games aren't pretty. You see their youth come out, and you see bonehead plays. You see sometimes bad base running or defensive blunders, but there has been glimpses of great things to watch. This team is extremely scrappy. Nick Castellanos has become the guy. This year, his power hasn't been like it was last year, where he hit 20-some home runs, and Nick was hurt a little bit this season, and he's had some lulls. But man, when that guy has it going on, he's a force to be reckoned with at the plate, and he's going to do nothing but progress. Because Nick is younger than I am. I'm older than Nick Castellanos. Jesus Christ, fucking old. But anyways, he's going to progress. Just keep progressing. His power has been great. His swing to the opposite way has been really good this year. When I remember watching a game in Kansas City, I'll never forget it, the Futures game, where it was Will Myers was still on the Kansas City Royals, and he was going to be the guy. He was a catcher, and, before they traded him to Tampa for Wade Davis and James Shields. And Nick Castellanos hit a fucking home run to dead center, and I was like, man, this kid, he hadn't really filled out yet. He still was a lanky guy, but I remember them talking, he had batting title potential. But his first couple years in the big leagues, he seemed kind of lost at times, and the swing got big, and, he would try to pull the ball so much, and he wouldn't go right center that often. And I would come on here and complain so much that he'd have so much holes, especially on the inner third of his swing, and because he's just trying to rip everything over the left field fence. But now, I mean, you just watch this guy. He doesn't miss fastballs as much as he used to, and his eye at the plate is much better. He gets in his slumps and he gets in his streaks, but he just looks like a completely different guy, and he looks like a guy that could lead this team and be the guy, and he's still young. And his podcast is great, too. If you haven't listened to 619 Podcast, do yourself a favor, listen to it. Nick Castellanos and Shane Green are really good. They are really, really good. They're very, intricate, very smart thinkers. And you get a really good glimpse inside the Tigers clubhouse and get a really good glimpse about, just who the Tigers are as a team. And I really, really love their podcast. But you just look at their other guys. Okay, Victor Reyes. I was there in his game where he made his debut with the Tigers, and he got hurt. And he got one at bat. But since then, this kid is held his own. He had almost a cycle the other day in New York. He's come up and had scrappy at-bats. He had an at-bat this year where he went 13 pitches and walked. I forget who it was against, but it was a home game, and it was just amazing. I think it was... It might have been against the Red Sox. I can't remember, but it was just such a scrappy at-bat. 13 pitches and walked. This is a Rule 5 draft pick kid. He was been absolutely great. He's been playing great defense. He's been awesome. He's been really scrappy at the plate. I really like watching this kid play. And Mikey Matuk has come out of nowhere. After getting shut down twice, or actually, no, it might have been 3 times this year, he's come up. He robbed a home run yesterday. And Jeimer Candelario, he's had his ups and downs. I remember when he was like the hottest of the hot, he's hitting 270-something, and now, his average fell down to 220. But when this kid is making contact and, he gives you a scrappy at bat, and he's been really good at lately at the top of the order, and he walks, and he has a pretty decent eye, and, he can hit a fastball. He hit a ball off of Jordan Hicks the opposite way into the bullpens for a walk-off the other night. The fastest hit pitch in the MLB for a home run this year. Jeimer did that. If I ain't telling you how good his hands are and how quick his bat is, I don't know what will. And he ain't playing a bad third base either. He's holding his own down there. Defensive metrics might not be like always Gold Glove, and his DRS might not be like plus a lot, or he might be average, but he's holding his own down there. And Niko Goodrum, I thought he had the potential to just be a utility bat. And he's not JD Martinez Part 2. The Tigers will never... That was like... JD Martinez is like Orioles signing Nelly Cruz a year. I think he almost blasted 50 for that 1-year deal before he went to the Mariners. JD just came out of nowhere, and, he's become elite of elite. His eye is great, and I don't even got to sing his praises because JD is one of the game's best. But Nico's been great. You can play him anywhere in the infield. He's been okay at short. He's good at second. You can play him in the outfield. You plug him in the middle of the lineup, and he can hit bombs. And his average ain't the highest, but when that dude is making contact, he's great. He's just great. He's been a really valuable player. And they lose John Hicks this year, and they who is off to a great start, but they've been able to fill in for him, no problem. And you look at Jacoby Jones, that kid can just hit. He's just so boomer bust, but if that kid could just hit, the way his DRS in center field is freaking mind-blowing. He covers gap to gap. He's got a great glove. He's got a really good arm out there as well. The Tigers have one of the best throwing outfields in baseball. I think they're like top 2 or top 3 and outfield assists. They may even lead it. I can't remember. I haven't looked at the leaderboards in a little bit. But, because Castellanos, a former third baseman, he's got a freaking rocket of an arm. He's always had a good arm. And Jacoby Jones has got a good arm. Mikey Matuk's arm's not bad either. But, I mean, they're not a great team, but there's so many things to watch. Matt Boyd has looked like Boyd of the second half last year, and it just drives me insane because you see him pitch like he did last night, where he set his career high in strikeouts. I mean, this dude's slider was on. His curveball, I saw Matt Carpenter and Paul and DeYoung swing at some pitches, just like half cut, like I'm playing MLB The Show and I hit X early, because I just was like freaking eating Cheetos or something. I'm like, oh damn. I mean, the way his curveball look and his fastball command, and it just goes to show you, he has 3 pitches. But he doesn't have consistency. He comes out last night. His last freaking 5 starts has been great. But then he just goes through goes through lulls and looks so bad, but you see his stuff and you know he's got it in there. He could be a middle rotation guy, no problem. He looked so good last night. It was one of the best starts I've ever saw Boyd pitch. Ever. He looked so good. I mean, his fastball command was so good. His changeup command was good. His curveball was so sharp. He looked so good. Thinking about that David Price trade, he's been the best piece. Norris come out and pitch against the Yankees and no hitting them, and then he gets hurt. And then yesterday, he looked good the other day. He's had 2 strong starts, and he's had strikeout stuff. So he's not a wash yet. And he's been another one where it's like you just haven't seen enough starts to see his stuff. And, is he going to be our top rotation guy? No. But Boyd's like the best. But that's my point of the Tigers team lately. They don't even have all their guys here yet. They don't have Jake Rogers behind the plate. They don't have freaking Casey Mize on the mound. They don't have, all these guys up here yet. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Their prospects. Look at the Tigers farm systems. Toledo made it to the playoffs the first time since 2007. It just goes to show you. I think I forget the second. It might have been Erie that also, the Whitecaps made it to the playoffs too. So 2 of their teams made it to the playoffs in the minor leagues. That just goes to show you the development and what's on the rise. It's not like it was in the past where these guys were just straight ass and, Dave Dombrowski is just drafting players to trade them later. They have some quality positional depth down in the minors that is going to come up hopefully, and they can hopefully hit on these guys. And, these dudes that have been fill-ins and stopgaps have been really good. And I liked Awalugo too. He hasn't had a lot of hits, but he's been making some really good contact. He's been playing a pretty good second base. So there's been a lot of positives and a lot of things I've liked about watching this team. They haven't been good, no, but man, they freaking fight to the last pitch. They're in almost all their games. I mean, they have a couple of blowout games a week, yeah, sure, because Lariano can't pitch to save his life. He's been straight garbage. But I'm really enjoying watching these guys play. They, for the most part, they're in games. They lose. They're going to lose 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6. But damn, they have been playing some scrappy baseball, and they have been in it pitch for pitch, regardless if they lose or not. They played the Yankees tough. They played the Yankees so tough. And the Cardinals team, look at their second half record. Cubbies and Brew Crew, hey, Cardinals came out of nowhere. They've been great, absolutely great this year. Or the second half, I meant. And they got the best record in the NL in the second half. Look at the Tigers. 2 walk-offs in a row. By the way, funny story about last night. So I'm watching the Tigers game. Shane Green's on the mound. And Marcell Ozuna's up. And Marcell Ozuna, he had 2 bombs the other day. And Greeny throws a freaking hanging slider, and Ozuna swings through it because I don't think he was expecting a T-ball pitch. I'm like, ooh, got away with one. And Kurt Gibby said the same thing. Oh, by the way, Rod Allen and Mario Pemba throwing dukes over a chair. I hope they're gone. They're terrible. Dan Dickerson and Kurt Gibby, I'm okay with them being the guys of the future. I would love to have Double D as our play-by-play guy. He is one of the best. Such a good baseball mind. Calls a game like no other. I think he's one of the elite broadcasters in baseball today. It calls a great game. But Mario and Rod got suspended because Rod Allen, I guess, it's not confirmed, but I guess he went after Mario and Pemba over a fucking chair. And you could tell they didn't like one another. I've watched Tigers games from like 10 years ago. It was when I'm bored. And you could just hear the way they talk in the booth to one another. Like, they just don't get along compared to like 10 years ago. But neither here nor there. So I'm watching the game last night, and Ozuna misses a slider. And I see Griner go like this, throw down that 3. I'm like, oh, fuck. Why would you throw another slider? It's 1-1. You just got away. Or it's 2-1. You just got away with it. And I know his slider cutter is his put-out pitch, but you just hung it. You haven't had that pitch really, in the first 2 outs. And then it all started with Matt Carpenter getting a lucky-ass base hit because Jim Adducci slipped and couldn't get the ball out of his glove. I'm like, man, no. Go up and away or freaking down and away with a fastball. Don't throw another slider. You don't have it tonight. And what does he do? Same pitch. Up. and Ozuna just freaking lofted it. And Mikey Moutok already robbed the homer this game, and he got about this close from robbing a second one in this game because it wasn't like a freaking moonshot. It was a wall scraper, and Moutok just barely didn't time his jump correctly because he had a shot to rob it, and he fucking hits a home run. I'm like, God damn it! I knew he was gonna fucking do this. You know, he shouldn't have thrown a second straight slider because he didn't bury the first one. And this is the second time this year he's got burned on it where he's hung 2 sliders in a row. I forget the game. I forget the hitter. But I can distinctly remember watching a game this season where Green throws a slider, hung it, gets away with it. Throws another slider, and it gets banged over the wall. And it was a home game, and my recollection, it ain't like 5 years ago when I was watching the Tigers, so I could remember everything. I'm getting old, guys. I'm almost 27 now. Wow, it's freaking crazy. I just can't remember it. But he did it again, and I'm like, motherfucker. You know, we had this game in hand, and Matt Boyd pitched so good. And that's why pitch win loss record sucks dick, because Boyd deserved the win last night. So we come up, top of the ninth. And Alex Reyes, that pesky little motherfucker, man, rips the ball down the first baseline, and Carp missed it. And Carp had a rough night last night at first because a ball hit off the bag and went into foul territory and had a leadoff double. I think it might have been Alex Reyes that did that. It was either Alex Reyes or Jeimer Candelaria. I can't remember. But he just misplayed it, and Reyes could have legitimately had a triple. But it was good idea. Top Victor up. And, you know, he got good hitters coming up. So he comes up, and then he walks the next hitter, which I believe was Jeimer Candelario. And it might have been Jim Adducci. I can't remember. But now we got runners on second and third. Oh, no, wait. I can't remember. Might have been a base hit. And then they walked. All I remember is they walked into Castellanos. And then bases are loaded. So however the sequence of events comes, blah, 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 blah. I don't fucking care. I don't remember it all. Just, here we go. We got Bud Norris up there, Victor Martinez, and a little preface. Bud Norris has never been a good big game pitcher. He's never been one to be, I don't know how he's ever even a closer for the Angels. He's like Andrew Bailey version 2.0. He just chokes under pressure. He just cannot handle big pitches. And I knew as soon as I think it was Jim Adducci he walked. I knew as soon as he walked Jim Adducci, he just didn't have his command. He had his fastball he's not going to power his fastball, and he just didn't have his command of his freaking. He chucked the fastball in the dirt too, which he got lucky, got it picked. But I knew as soon as he walked Jim Adduci, I'm like, man, he's not going to be able to get out of this. The Tigers are going to win this game. So, Victor's up. And I'm on Facebook last night talking on one of my little Tigers forums. And I'm like, right here, he's going to bounce it in the dirt. Reyes scores. Take it to the bank. I said that word for word. Because Victor, his last month, he's been actually pitching pretty good. He's been barreling balls. He's been lofting balls. He's like, this has probably been his best month he's hit as a Tiger this year. And I knew, sure as shit, wasn't going to want to try to throw Victor a piece of cheddar, because Victor is, like I said, he's been lofting balls, he's been barreling balls. He's not going to want him to get anything to lift. He lifted a ball earlier that game to score a run. He ain't going to want him to lift it, so he's going to throw him a breaking ball, because he's going to want to try to make him, slap something at the infield or roll it on the ground for a double play. Sure as shit, throws him a breaking ball, and he spiked it. It was a 58-foot breaking ball, just straight in the dirt. Bounced way up. Reyes scores. I'm like, I knew it. I called it. I saw that coming from a mile away. He had no fastball command. He already threw one in the dirt once before he got lucky. He got it saved and picked. And I knew he wasn't going to try to throw him a first pitch piece of cheese. He's going to try to throw him a hook or something to get him, get a double play, roll over on it. And yep, and they won last night. So today I'm going to the game. I'm really excited. They're probably going to lose because I'm bad luck, and they always lose whenever I go to the Tigers game. I think they've only won one game since I went in the last 2 years, and that's a 20-game span. I didn't really go to a lot of games this year, just didn't have time or money. But, man, I'm really excited for the Tigers team. A year that I thought they were going to lose 110 games, they could have been a close to an 80-win team. I mean, I want to see the record. I don't know the record of one-run games this year, but they've been in a lot of them. And they've been a scrappy team, and they've been a fun team to watch. You know, they go through bad stretches at times, but man, do they stay in it and do they fight? And, you know, they just got so many of these young kids that are just, you know, it's not a base-to-base team anymore. It's not the days of Miggy Peralta, V-Mart Fielder, you know, where it takes a bloop and a blast. You know, they're playing for the 3-run homer, and it's a base-to-base thing. They got some guys that can run. They got some guys that can play defense. You know, they're fun to watch. They give you scrappy at-bats, and you get these guys you don't expect it, Reyes and Goodrum, you know, just coming out here and playing scrappy baseball, and Matuk and Jones and Casty's becoming the guy, and you know, hopefully Fulmer stays healthy and Boyd just shows flashes of brilliance. And, you know, you hear about all these guys on the farm that just can't wait for it to come up. I can't wait to see guys like Christian Stewart and Daz Cameron. I can't wait. I'm really excited about the future of this team. And regardless of how bad they've been this year, it's still been a fun year. And it's been a scrappy year. And it's been a long time. I can't remember I've been watching the team since 2003. I can't remember a team that's been as scrappy as this, with the speed they got, you know, because they've been such a 3-run home run kind of team for a long time. And, you know, you see this generation shift, and Miggy's been on the shelf since May, and, you know, Cassie's become the guy, and they've had to get other performances out of other surprise guys, especially like Victor Reyes lately, and Nico Goodrum this season. So it's been fun. It's been fun regardless of the record, and I'm excited for the future. So I think I've ranted enough. I've rambled enough. This has been almost 22 minutes of just me talking about the Tigers. But I'm excited, and it's been a good season. It has, regardless of record. You know, if they lose out, I'm okay with that. Honestly, I just want them to get draft picks at this point. I want them to get another high pick. Let's get another Casey Mize up in here. And I don't know, man. I'm just excited. And excited for the future, and it's been a cool year to watch, and I'm excited for the game today. That's all I got for you guys today. Come on here, I don't know, whenever I feel like I make another video, but that's all I got for you guys today. And I'm going out of the game today, and go Tigers. Hopefully get a sweep. That'd be great. Plus, I really want to see a fucking win. Come on, boys, let's go. Go Tigers.